For state governments owing their workers salaries, there may be more trouble in the days ahead. Well, this comes as the Trade Union Congress issues a 15-day ultimatum to the Oyo state government and all other defaulting state governments to pay up or face mass action. TUC members at the national level who joined their counterparts in Oyo State to protest the non-payment of their salaries urged Governor Abiola Ajimobi to urgently find a solution to the lingering crisis. Meanwhile, the Oyo State government has given the assurance that the issues is being addressed.
Members of the Trade Union Congress protesting on the streets of Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. From the Federal Secretariat, the protesters moved to the governor's office, where security operatives barricaded the entrance, preventing them from gaining entry. Their demands, amongst other things, include the payments of workers' salaries.
We are saying that state governors that cannot pay salaries should immediately resign. They are being owed now for 7 months. How do we expect someone to come to work for 7 months? Someone that has not been collecting salaries. Our families are in disarray.
Sale of secondary schools is against Section 18, 3B of the Constitution, which provides that free secondary education shall be provided. We should not allow Mr. Governor to turn Oyo State into his private estate.
The head of service in the state attends to the union members.
All I want to do today is to make a passionate plea. The process of engaging the labor to resolve this imbroglio will start tomorrow. And let's keep our hopes high that by God's grace, all things will be well.
For over a month, schools in Oyo State have remained shut, in spite of government's order that all the public schools in the state be reopened. But the union insists continuing their action.
No teacher will go to any school today. Teachers are all here, like their other counterparts, the workers in the state. Because how would they go? They are hungry, they are angry, they are not happy.
In the meantime, the Oyo State government is insisting on participatory management of public schools, and it has set up a 31-member Education Reform Initiative Committee to widen the scope of consultations on the project.
Meanwhile, the Senate has expressed concern over the persistent failure of some state governments to pay teachers' salaries. To this end, the members of the upper legislative chamber urged the federal, state and local governments to immediately take steps towards the payment of all outstanding salary arrears owed teachers. It also urged the states to immediately begin the implementation of a priority expenditure scheme that will equate the payment of teacher salaries with public expenditure, such as security. The resolutions were the aftermath of a motion by Senator Dino Melaye.
The Senate is disturbed that the difficult financial situation that some states of the Federation are having to deal with due to the severe economic downturn being experienced nationwide. My colleagues, the Senate is worried that what we have in our hands with this situation is a national emergency that requires drastic measures to halt the drift. The Senate observed that teachers' welfare is at the heart of the success of the education system. My colleagues, the Senate acknowledged further that the ongoing suffering of our teachers and students in public schools can be altered if leaders at all levels rise to the occasion to find solutions to this challenge.
At least 1,390 ad hoc staff are preparing to conduct rerun elections in Kogi State on Saturday, July the 23rd, 2016. Well, this was made known by officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Addressing journalists in Lokoja, the state capital, the resident electoral commissioner, Samuel Usman, explains the new date was agreed after due consultation with relevant stakeholders, both at the state and national level. He advised the electorate to show respect for the rule of law and assured voters that the polls will be free and fair.
Based on the outcome of these meetings, consultations has scheduled 23rd July 2016 for the conduct of the elections. Consequent upon this, the Commission is calling on all stakeholders, especially politicians and contesting candidates, to eschew politics of bitterness, play the game according to the rules, and cooperate with the Commission to deliver credible election in order to accord the zone the desired representation. As election umpire, we are determined to conduct free, fair, and credible elections in the zone come 23rd July 2016.
The federal government is working to stem the tide of violence experienced in some parts of the country by setting up a security team to secure agriculture, investments and investors in the country. But speaking at a news conference in Abuja, the Minister of Interior, General Abdurrahman Dambazal, says men of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps are being trained to protect agriculture investments and agriculture communities in the country. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Chief Audu Ogbe, explained that the federal government plans to diversify the economy through agriculture, and investors need assurances that their investments will be protected.
We are planning now to create ranches and bring our cattle together in manageable conditions where the conflicts between herdsmen and farmers can be absolutely eliminated in a short while. But we're also aware that we face another challenge, that of rustlers, who arrive on a farm at night and walk away with 300 cows, 400 cows, totally destroying the owners of the herds. But they go beyond that now. They attack even grain farmers on their farms and kidnap them. They also attack factory owners in isolated areas. Now, if we're going to encourage agriculture, agro-investment, other investments, which will spread across the length and breadth of this country, we as a government have to find a formula for protecting those investments.
We will be able to train the men of Nigeria Civil Defense Corps in such a way that they'll be able to protect investments and also protect communities that are involved in farming. And this is the whole idea. And this is why we said the first step is for us to gather a few of you to come together and put your thoughts together so that we'll now carry out, come up with a strategy that will enable us achieve this objective.
Well, that's it from the nation's capital. It's back to you, Ijoma.
Thanks a lot, Gloria. Now, a group of militants in Cross River State have distanced themselves from recent clashes and attacks across the state. The group is pointing accusing fingers at politicians whom they allege are sponsors of suspected cultists carrying out the attacks. Last week, Governor Ben Ayade read the Riot Act to criminals, reiterating his commitment to end cases of attacks on oil facilities within the state.
These are suspected criminals on parade for various offences in Calabar. Crimes ranging from armed robbery, cultism to kidnapping. A show that the security agencies are holding their own against lawbreakers. So when the report of the takeover of the Bakassi community by militants known as Bakassi Strike Force broke, an uneasy calm hovered over the state. Residents moved around cautiously, not knowing what to expect. The news led to the Nigerian army and police stepping in to take control of the situation.
It's not been easy, but these are part of the sacrifice that we must make to ensure that peace reigns in our communities. I want to urge you to remain focused, operate within the rules of engagements as has been given to you. We are quite satisfied with the effort you have put in to at least stabilize the situation.
The state governor also read the Riot Act to the militants.
I want to assure the people of Cross River State that we have understood the basis of this crime. We have names, we have security report of specific people, their homes, their agents, their modus operandi has been well analyzed by my security commanders. And we are confident that the action you will see in a matter of days to come, you will see a difference.
But there appears to be a strange twist with this interview granted exclusively to Channel Television by the militant group, who laid the blame of the breakdown of security at the doorstep of politicians.
Rather, I would like to emphasize that all these pockets of violence, robberies, and kidnapping are being perpetuated by cultist elements who were used for election by politicians and later dumped.
Many questions arise from this. If the militant group are seeking peace, why are they in hiding? What is the state government doing about their requests? Who is the sponsor behind the group? For those questions to be answered, the most logical thing to do is probably for all parties to dialogue, and quickly too. Because the longer this drags, the more difficult it will be to keep the peace which is presently being monitored.
When the news at 10 returns, UN challenges African countries on integrated trade to achieve global competitiveness. That will be on Business. Please join us again.